Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Local Liberty. This is Brian and Shane. We are continuing the conversation about individual liberty and also our series on the college chat, answering questions from Shane's American government class.
I'm really taking it, folks. I got the book right here.
All right, our question for today is pork barrel politics good for democracy? When I first saw this question, Shane sent it over to me yesterday, so I had a little bit of time to think about it. The first thing that came to my mind was a quote, and this is sort of some dispute over who this is attributed to. But the quote is, "The American Republic will endure until politicians realize they can bribe the people with their own money." And that, I think, is a very applicable quote to this topic. Now, I also have, just so everybody's understanding the term here, what is pork barrel politics? This is our good little Google definition. The term pork barrel politics usually refers to spending which is intended to benefit constituents in return for their political support, either in the form of campaign contributions or votes.
That is a perfect definition. Thank you, Google overlords.
Yes. Once again, thank you very much. So, is pork barrel politics good for democracy? I'd say with that definition in mind and in the spirit of that quote I just read, I'd say pork barrel politics is an absolute must for democracy. Because if people don't expect to get some return on their investment, so to speak, who's going to participate in politics? If the government basically said, we're going to take 50% of your money, not going to give you a darn thing back, and we're going to come around and slap you around every now and then and otherwise abuse you, there'd be a revolt in what? Less than 24 hours. So this concept of pork barrel politics, meaning I'm going to get a little bit of my money back, like say 5 cents on the dollar, I think is a decent expectation for the government takes a dollar from you and like a nickel comes back into your community.
A nickel comes back and a gun in your face telling you what you can and cannot put in your body, what you can and cannot run for a business, what you can and cannot, where you can and cannot park. You know?
Right. So
Thank you.
If it wasn't for that nickel coming back that allowed us to feel good about participating in a democracy, there wouldn't be a democracy. So if we didn't have all this money floating around to basically bribe ourselves with, and as our example, our local example, our friendly Uncle Joe Courtney, we always get to hear about the wonderful economic value that he's bringing to southeastern Connecticut through all the military spending at EB.
Oh my, I actually referenced this in my paper. I actually referenced Joe Courtney and the submarines. We need more submarines. We need more, because we got to save those jobs.
So we didn't set that up.
Right, no, he didn't. He just brought it up. He didn't read my paper.
I mean, it's the clearest example of that is our pork barrel in this part of Connecticut is EB.
Yeah.
Like that's the pork barrel when you're talking federal politics. So, yeah, I mean, is this good for democracy? Well, maybe the intent of this question may have been something along the lines of, all money corrupts this, money corrupts that, but it's integral to the process, folks. If the favors weren't being spread around, if Joe Courtney didn't have our own money to throw back at us, if Don Williams, who's now thankfully gone, our former state senator, if he didn't have our dollars to bring back to Willimantic or Putnam to help us with, then nobody would want that guy to mow their lawn. They certainly wouldn't, go out of the way to campaign for him and vote for him and all this good stuff. So, Shane, anything back to you? Anything else you want to add on the old pork barrel?
You brought up a lot of things that we actually talked about this in class. Usually we do these questions before class, but there was a little bit of confusion. So I actually already had the class where we talked about this. And we talked about how the system in America is set up so politicians like Joe Courtney have to give us stuff for us to elect them. But the money, you say it's our money, But really, here's the thing: it's other people's money a lot of times. It's money from the federal government. Yes, we're taxpayers to that government, but the idea that what Joe Courtney tells his constituents is, oh, I'm getting a grant from the feds. Oh, I'm getting money from somewhere else. I'm robbing someone else to fix this problem, right? And, the submarines, you could argue, oh, well, it's part of the local economy. If we build more submarines, it's good for the people in the state. Let's ignore the fact that submarines are part of the military-industrial complex and they're war machines meant to kill people. Let's just put aside that horrible aspect of that and just think about the local issues. Like, okay, yeah, he's trying to benefit these people, blah, blah, blah. That sounds kind of good. But it's not good for anyone else. People in other states that are getting their money taken to build these subs, that's not helping them. It creates this bizarre system where nobody likes Congress. Congress's congressional rating is like 14%, maybe even lower.
I think it's even lower.
Right.
It's single digit.
Yeah, it's so bad. But most congressmen have a favorable approval rating because people only think about their small little area, but nationwide, these policies don't benefit anyone, and they actually hurt everyone, like in aggregate. When you spend a little money, wasteful money on the bridge to nowhere, when you spend a little bit of wasteful money on building subs we don't need, if you all add it all together, it creates this huge economic burden that's just not needed, right? If you didn't have this massive economic burden, maybe Joe Courtney wouldn't need to stimulate the local economy, because the local economy would run better anyway, right? So it creates a strange situation where there's all these people, their hands in the government pie, and it's being manipulated by factors all over America. Different politicians are trying to play to their constituents, but they're all at odds with each other. It's like, I can't even wrap my head around how confusing and strange this situation is.
So for me, and I get confused by this stuff all the time as well. And when
it's just so bizarre, the system is so.
What I have to sort of get clarity back to me means going back to the basics. And you talk about the economic aspect of all this. It goes back to what we discussed way back in our episode 4, the essentials of liberty.
Check it out on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
It was there's two ways to earn a living. It's the economic means, which is to produce value for others, or it's the political means, which is the political way of earning a living is to be a parasite. And overall, if you look at the whole, you talk about, money, in Connecticut, yes, Windham County is a net tax benefit compared to Fairfield County.
Right.
But that's all meant to be part of the confusion and the divide and conquer. And what it boils down to is our money is taken from everybody, in every community, everywhere. It's taken from them. It bubbles up into some parasitic layer of bureaucracy. The bureaucracy takes a gigantic portion of that money for themselves, and then some small portion comes back to us. And however it gets distributed, however it gets, reallocated to, well, I sent out $5 and I got back $7, so yay, I'm winning, or whatever. The bottom line is we are, through the pork barrel, we are supporting a huge layer of parasitism on our prosperity and our wealth. So no way you slice it, it cannot be considered a gain in any possible way.
It just clogs up the system with useless bureaucracy. Another thing I wanted to mention, the pork barrel spending is for Joe Courtney's constituents, or whatever congressman or senator it's for. But those constituents, you can say like, oh, we're in the 2nd congressional district. You can say it's for Windham County, but no, that's not true. It's for that group of people that actually supported Joe Courtney. He's the only people that he's representing. He doesn't have to represent the other 49% or whatever it is that didn't vote for him, right? Our system is set up where there's a winner takes all mentality. So, like in the presidential race, if you have a 51% winner, that 54% winner technically represents everyone, but really he doesn't. He's only representing the interests of those 51% of the people. So it's such a bizarre system where only a very small portion of the population's needs are actually met. So if you say this is democratic and for the people, it's not even for the people. It's for a subsection of the people that supported this particular politician at this particular time, in this particular moment.
I think it's putting it very generously to say that politicians are representing 51% or the majority. They're I mean,
other people that voted. So
Yeah,
there's a bunch of people that
well,
didn't
that's on
vote.
paper,
So
yeah.
there's a bunch of people that didn't vote, right? So you have say 50% of the people voted, and then half of those people actually voted for Joe Courtney. Maybe a little more in our area, but still, if you have maybe 30% of the people that he's actually representing, that means the majority of people he is not representing, right? So in terms of the
officially, just by pure numeric value,
right, right. So in terms of democracy and being for the people, representing the people, you're not even accomplishing that goal. Even if you like pork barrel spending, even if you say, well, he's providing things that the people want, because a lot of people do want this. They say, I want stuff, give me stuff. Even in that sense, he's not achieving those goals. Even in that sense. So it's a failure in multiple levels.
Sure is. All right. I think that's a wrap on this topic. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back with more later. This is Brian and Shane from Local Liberty. Take care.